Hey everyone, welcome to another music reaction video. I'm NetherCloud, and today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different than what we do on a normal basis. Generally, I try to steer clear of live tracks unless it's specifically recommended by someone and it's the only version of the song that we have to check out on YouTube, if there's not an official video or something like that. But a friend of mine suggested checking this video out because apparently the camera angles are all on Carey and focusing on his drum work, and why not? Let's give it a shot. Let's see if people like it. I've been a big fan of Tool my entire life, and actually the very first big concert I ever went to was a Tool concert. I'd been to a lot of like local band and community center style shows before that, but my first like arena, big venue, professional band show was actually Tool. So there's always going to be that like big soft spot in my heart for Tool. They're an amazing band, amazing musicians, but truth be told, I've kind of fallen off on keeping up with them, and I've never actually heard Pneuma. At least I don't think so. The last time I think I was like really into them was when Lateralis came out. I listened to that album a ton, and everything before that a ton, but I kind of spent time moving across the country and playing in my own bands and doing like life just happens. You guys know there are bands that you fall in love with and then you somehow manage to forget about them. Recently, we had done a whole delve into Bandmade because they popped up on one of my playlists. I was like nonstop listening to them for a while, and then I just legitimately completely forgot they existed. Now, that's not what happened with Tool. I don't think there'll ever be a time when I forget that Tool existed, but I haven't heard this song or a lot of their more recent songs. I honestly don't even know what era this album or this song is from. God, I sound like a terrible Tool fan. I'm just a person who likes a lot of different music, so I'm sure I'm going to enjoy the song because Tool is awesome. And it'll be interesting to see a live take of what Carey does on the drums. He's a phenomenal drummer. I'm running my mouth a lot. Also, you may have noticed I have purple hair now. I like purple, my favorite color. And when I redid the dye today, it came out especially nice. I'm feeling pretty dapper, to be honest with you. So it's rare that I like the looks I come up with. But today, I'm feeling sexy. I hope you guys are feeling sexy. You're enjoying your day. Let's hit play before I say something even dumber than what I just said. All right, let's check this out. It's also a long video, so let's marathon. Those pads. So I'm not a drummer myself at all. I can basically tune a snare drum for studio purposes and whatnot, but I am by no means an expert on drum stuff. I don't actually know what he's hitting. I'm assuming they're triggers, but maybe that's just like some sort of special. Carey, so I can't rule anything out, and I don't know enough about the thing that he's tapping on there to know exactly what it is. I think it's a trigger, but again, he's good at drums. I'm not. I'm very, very silly today, guys. I hope you can bear with me. Oh, cool. It shows you all the info. I already know that what he's doing right there is very difficult. That's some sort of left and right hand is not doing the same thing, and that already hurts my brain. I wouldn't even remotely attempt to try doing something like that. Cool intro. The signature Tool feedback. placement on his hi-hat is very odd. He gets to play with this like open-handed style rather than the cross-sticking. It's right above the tom. As always, like they're playing around with time signatures, and it's not an easy thing to follow a Tool song that you haven't heard before. You guys know, you're here, you're watching the video, so you've seen Tool. I mean, unless you're here for me, in which case, look, it's purple. Like I said, I'm in a really, really silly mood. I've been doing a lot of stuff, so completely out of my mind. So yeah, they're doing some complex rhythmic things, which is fun and enjoyable. One of the things I've always loved about them is that they like to play with rhythms and change up things and do time signatures that aren't standard, but that still rock and you have a good time with. It's starting out nice and slow. A lot of Tool songs do, kind of like they get that like long building thing. I think the video is something like 11 minutes long, so easy to anticipate that that's what would be going on. I'm thinking about my taste in music and how it's changed over the years, and I think I got heavier after I listened to Tool for a long time. I think I tended more towards bands that were more aggressive and more like just brutal, to sound like Metalocalypse for a hot second. But like I said, they were one of my first favorite bands, first concert I ever went to in a big arena setting. We'll always love them. So I'll back it up a second so I don't get lost here. I mean, I'm going to get lost because, yes. Reach out beyond this flesh, become Pneuma. We are will and wonder about you. Recall, remember, born of one breath, one word, one spark, sun becoming. This is weird for me, because like I don't usually look at specific instruments. Here, let's pause that and come back just a little bit for the transition. I'm not usually reacting to specific instruments or up-close cameras. Like I said, I usually do the official music video release stuff. And I think this video is a lot about specifically watching Danny Carey, obviously. And I haven't heard this song before, because like I said, I kind of fell out of keeping up with their material quite a while back. So I'm kind of just like trying to take it all in right now. I don't actually know how to react, so we'll just keep going and see what happens, I guess. I have no idea. Also, I have a new kitten and he's kind of distracting. I keep wanting to go over and pet him. The ADHD is very strong today, guys. I'll try. Amazing drummer. So tight. Very unique layout to the kit, too. See, I'm not exactly sure what to say. I mean, obviously the man is amazing at the drums. The song is great. I'm thinking about the fact that like I said, I've gotten kind of into more aggressive, straightforward music, a little bit of a taste change over the years. It's good. I've often said this in these reaction videos. It's almost better as far as what I have to say when I watch a video I don't like, because I can describe the things I don't like about it. I'm like, oh, I'm not a fan of this key or that type of change or this style of guitar playing, or, you know, I don't like what they did with X, Y, and Z. Like, there's a lot more to describe. When I like something, my brain just kind of melds together and you're like, yeah, this is good. This is good. I honestly go through the same thing when I have a crush on somebody. I'm like, I can talk to them, and then I start to have a crush on them, and I'm like, I don't know what to say to you. Hi, you're pretty. And that's all that my brain does. And that's so, like, when I like something, a lot of times my brain just collapses in on itself just the same way when it's like, this is good. I like this. And so, like, current state of affairs and being and enjoyment nether is like, I'd like it to be something like more aggressive, faster, straightforward. But classic nether, who's, you know, like in there, is like, yeah, I remember this. This is familiar. This is fun. This is Tool. It feels right. I think I'd rather, in general, listen to studio albums when I'm at home or doing things like this, but I would love to be at this concert. I've been to a few Tool concerts besides that first one I've already mentioned, and there's something about the way the songs hit you live. It's why I generally don't do live reaction videos. I don't feel like there's any way to capture a live show in a way that translates through a YouTube video or Wave or MP3 or whatever format audio file you're listening to. It just doesn't hit the same. I know a lot of people out there are like, oh, you know, the live version is the better version. You have to watch the live version. You have to watch the live version. Unless I'm at the show, I generally find that the live version falls flat compared to the studio album, because the studio album, they're there to make it sound good. Like, this is the thing that I see in my brain. I'm using every tool at my disposal to create it. And it's different for different bands. Some bands are more live bands, and the recording is like, how do we capture our live style the most? Other bands are more like, we create and exist in the studio, and then the live is almost like a covering of themselves. Like, they're performing, it's almost like they're performing material from a different band and doing a cover of it live, even though they are the band that wrote it in the studio. I tend to be that second type, where any music that I've done in my life, I've always been more like, let's sit down with the instruments and the recording equipment. Let's go through, let's play the song, let's figure out what we want to do. Oh, you know what, it'd be cool to put this kind of reverb or this kind of distortion. And we do that. And then when we go to do live, we say, okay, now how do we do that, or some sort of interpretation of that so it translates live? So it goes both ways depending on the style of band you are. I think Tool does a little bit of both. I don't know their writing process, but as far as I know, they could probably do anything. They're brilliant musicians. At this stage in the game with the internet and all that, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like doing Zoom sessions and writing badass stuff, just riffing off of each other and sending files back and forth, or if they're just getting together, just like, all right, you guys all fly in and we'll just jam for like 3 days straight and, you know, just write a whole song, whatever. I don't know. But what I was trying to say is, I'm not really a huge fan of live recordings in general unless I'm actually at the show. And I feel like we're obviously watching a video that's catered to drummers. I know enough about drums to get me into trouble as far as talking about them. Like, I know that there's a rototom there. I know that he's playing an open-handed style instead of a cross-sticking style with the hi-hat. It's definitely a very unique drum setup. Obviously, the man knows what I'm going to say the word obviously a lot, because I feel like you're talking about one of the legends in drumming here. So, like, obviously the man is doing awesome stuff and knows what he's doing and has a really cool way of setting up his kit to optimize the way he plays and everything like that. But I don't really have any specific comments on his playing, because I'm just not that well versed in drumming. Song very much sounds Tool. The guitar playing, the singing, all of it sounds very familiar. Even though I haven't heard this particular song before. I guess I'm going to press play because it's a long video, and I could literally just go on talking like a madman. But let's see what else he does. Let's see where this goes. Man knows how to get some notes in there. Also, the thing over his head, the thing right behind him here, that looks like a piano layout, I want to touch it. I'm assuming it allows him to like play melodies by hitting the pads because it's large enough that it doesn't look like you tap it with your fingers or play it like a piano, obviously. So I'm guessing that allows him to actually do like full melodies. And, you know, obviously, God, I'm gonna step on the word obviously all day long today. It's obviously an electronic instrument, so you can probably program it to just about any instrument you want to hear, whether it's rhythmic or melodic. Interesting. Also, it'd be cool to see him use it in this one, but I don't know. Maybe it's for another song or whatever. Maybe, who knows? I just think it's cool, and I want to touch it. See, I wouldn't be able to do that two-handed, and he's doing it one-handed. I can spin a stick, though. It's my best drummer talent. And I gotta say, I like the purple. Who would have thought? My friend Ryan, who he passed quite a few years ago, also a drummer, went to school for it and everything. He loved Danny Carey. He often went down to this place called the Baked Potato in the Hollywood area and would watch him play. It's like a very small venue. It's got like, you can order food. Their whole gimmick is every meal is served inside of a baked potato. So if you order a steak dinner, it comes inside of a baked, like a giant, like football-sized baked potato. Delicious food. I went there once, and it was not for a Danny Carey project or whatever it was. It was, I think it was like a comedy and music thing. I think Mark Maron played there that night, his band, and a couple of other people. I honestly, I can't even remember who. I remember the food better. I went out with a bunch of friends. We had a great night, you know, just partying and having a good time, eating good food. But yeah, I know that Ryan, sorry, this is my friend's name, the one who passed. He absolutely worshipped Danny Carey, and he got up the nerve one time to actually go up to him at that venue and ask him what to study to become a better drummer. And apparently, Danny told him, "Oh, you need to do this book." And Ryan was like, "Of course I do," because it was the book he had been putting off. He's like, it's the hard one, you know, the one that messes everybody up, the impossible one. And he's like, of course that's what I need to do. Of course that's the advice Danny Carey would give you, is like, you know, that hard book that everybody procrastinates doing and feels like I don't need to do that because it's just too much. Yeah, that's the one to play to get better. So I'll always remember that story. Me and Ryan had our ups and downs. He was a good guy, but he's going through a lot of things. We were a little estranged, but I was there at the end. And God, I didn't want to get morbid with this, but anything with Danny Carey is always going to remind me of him, because that was like his god. Like, as a drummer, that's who he put up there on a pedestal, and rightfully so. I'm watching this. Like I said, I'm not a drummer in any regard. I can't even keep a simple beat. Not even remote. Now, I could program a pretty simple beat using MIDI and stuff like that. I can even program some ridiculous nonsense, but nothing like what he's doing on the kit here. It's insane. And the fact that he's got the like acoustic drums blended with the electronic stuff, the configuration of his cymbals, where his hi-hat is, the fact that right in front of him is the rototom instead of like off to the side like a lot of other drummers I've seen. He's just a very unique, talented person who's been seasoned with time and experience and is very prolific at what he does. I don't know the name of the other projects he engages with when he's not playing with Tool, but I know he does other projects, plays with other people, extremely knowledgeable and talented. And I don't honestly know how else to approach this watch through here, because it's like, all of this feels very familiar, because Tool is Tool. They have a unique, distinct sound. You can't put on a Tool song and be like, oh, who is this? It's like, no, you put it on, and if you've ever heard Tool, you're like, oh, that's Tool. So that's very much the vibe I get from the song. I don't know the lyrics to this one. I don't know the context of the songs because a lot of times they write these like grand narratives that span multiple songs or entire albums, etc. And we're focusing on the drummer, so I'm just kind of in awe, but also, like I said, I'm realizing how much my taste has changed over the years. This is something, if I was having like a super chill day or hanging out with some friends, I'd love to have on and listen to. I think as far as what I would choose to listen to, like if I were to shut this down, stop recording, take all of the work I need to do and all of the things I need to accomplish with the rest of my evening, and just put that aside and just pick some music to listen to. I'm probably not going to listen to Tool right now. If you've been watching some of my previous videos, you know I kind of like fell in love with this band, Sumo Psycho. Absolutely love them. I've been listening to them nonstop for a while now, and it's an extremely different vibe than what's going on here. I do have my tendency towards hyperfixations, so I think Tool is one of those bands I'll always be able to go back to, always hold like the most top level respect and love for, but I don't think it's like where my heart and my soul is at the moment as far as what I like to listen to. There's no way you could ever say Tool is bad, that they're untalented or any of those things. They're amazing. Like every time I hear a Tool song, I'm just like, damn, those guys are fucking amazing. But at the moment, I'm not like, I don't want to lie in these videos. I'm not really feeling it because it's such a different time. It's more like this is triggering memories. I can feel myself driving around in my hometown, thinking about all the things I was going through back then. And there's just been a whole life between then and now, multiple lives. Like, I feel like I've changed who I was and grown and like shed my shell and grown new skin over and over and over again since the last time I was like really engrossed in listening to Tool. And honestly, it hasn't been that long. I remember going to see them. God, I can't even remember the year, but the last like really big show, because I haven't gone to any really big shows in a long time. You guys know I've got some health problems I was dealing with, all this other stuff, whatever. I think the last like outdoor concert big show was Tool. I think Primus was there, which same thing. I love Primus. They were like my first favorite band ever. Primus, Tool, and Nine Inch Nails. Those were the top three for most of my life. And I don't really listen to any of them anymore. It's just really crazy how you can hold a love for a band or an artist, but grow out of listening to them. Like in my head, if you were like, name some of your favorite bands, those three bands would be right up there at the top of the list. But then there's a lot of other ones that would be up there that I more frequently listen to now, like Dog Fashion Disco. They hold one of the all-time favorite slots in my life. Love that band. And if you were to ask me what my favorite band is right now, as in like this moment, like what is on Sumo Psycho, which again, and then there's bands like Tub Ring. And I think my tastes have gone more in the like weird, avant-garde, eclectic, artsy, like we're going to play a punk riff followed by a waltz, followed by noise, more like in the Mr. Bungle camp. If you guys know who Mr. Bungle is, I'm sure some of you do. Another group of talented artists, Mike Patton from Faith No More. This is what's happening though. I'm watching a video about Danny Carey from Tool and his drumming style, and it's triggering all these memories of all the things I've ever seen. And now this is no longer a reaction video. This is another. Let's get some history on like what you listened to, what you went through, and I don't know. I feel like that's the only place I can really go with this. But also, we should probably finish listening to the song. Thank you guys for being here, for putting up with whatever it is I'm doing. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm highly distracted, and now I'm very nostalgic. So let's keep the nostalgia train rolling. All right, things are hitting me as we're watching this. Like, I'm like thinking about like how I would describe this current style of this era of Tool, and I'm like, it's almost like jam music, except I know that they write their music. They're like orchestrated jam music, if that makes any sense. Like, there's a groove to it, but that groove is very like specific and very like honed in, almost if you were to like plug into like a matrix of music and like funnel it through the fingers of these musicians, you know, like there's a talent level there that you couldn't achieve in any way other than like putting in the time they've put in. And it almost like taps into some mystical energy that's just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Let's just watch the video. Yeah, impossible. In my wildest dreams, I couldn't do anything remotely close to what he's doing. To even say that feels unfair. Like you can't compare yourself to someone of that talent level. You know what I mean? And like I kind of feel almost like I'm watching a seminar as opposed to like watching a song. Where like if I was actually like a playing drummer who's out there trying to actively get better, I would be studying every nuance, every movement, every shifting placement of the drums and everything. I'd be studying this like just frame by frame, figuring out what he's doing. But for me, as a non-drummer who's kind of fallen out of this style of music, I'm just kind of like, yeah, dude's killing it. That's really difficult to do. I could never do it. Well, of course you could never do it, Nether. You're not even a drummer. Like, I could play some bass. I could probably, if I sat down and like warmed my chops back up, because I haven't really played much bass in a while, I could probably, you know, hang in that regard, but not as a drummer. Not even, you guys do things I don't understand. The separation of all four limbs like that, it just like feels like somebody's splitting me into pieces if I try to play the drum set. It is impossible for me. I keep thinking those are pentagrams on his drums, but they're not. Dude's got some muscle, too. Yeah, the nostalgia's hitting real hard right now. I'm thinking back to like all the videos that I used to watch late night on MTV, Like a lot of the like creepy videos back in the day were on after hours, so to speak, because it's just not appreciated during the day, or I don't know, maybe didn't want to put like some of Tool's videos are super creepy. I believe Adam Jones, the guitar player, does a lot of their video production, if I remember correctly. And I'm just in my head right now, I'm just kind of like floating through all of the videos I watched and all the songs I listened to, the amount of time I sat down and just like soaked it all in. It was a special time in life, but I think that's mostly what I'm feeling right now is a sense of nostalgia. Just that feeling of like, this is a life that I used to live. I'm not currently connecting with it. There's the nether of now and the nether of then are very different. They're connected by this string of memories and like these feelings and emotions that are bound to this style of music, but it feels kind of far away now. Like it feels like I don't even know. It's very ethereal, much like they're playing being like this like almost like ambient ethereal like fog of music. It almost feels like a fog of music is just like rolling over you. Not like it's just like, some bands kind of feel like a cannon that's just blasting you in the face with the music, and other bands feel like a cacophony of noise. Tool kind of, to me, like feels like this almost like wave of like fog just rolling off the stage and like enveloping you in the sound. Something you can very much just kind of close your eyes and just kind of like sway around and like float and swim in. Which is really cool. Very few bands can pull that off at the talent level they do, or at all for that matter. But it's not like I'm not like jumping out of my seat like, yeah, go. Like it's not pumping my juices. It's not getting my adrenaline flowing because it is more chill music, especially the newer tracks. I think the older ones had a bit more grit and a bit more like punch to them, whereas I say newer. I don't even know when this album came out that this song is off of. This could be 10 years old for all I know. But I don't know. It's just not getting me jumping up out of my seat, going nuts, because it's a memory more than it is a current favorite. And that's like a weird thing to say, because there was a time in my life where I couldn't picture not listening to Tool every single day. And now I think about it and I'm like, I honestly can't remember the last time I sat down and listened to Tool. Which feels weird. Like and I've got this like odd feeling inside of like this almost, it's almost sad to listen to this because it's reminding me how old I am. I mean, that sounds weird to think about, but like the life that we live, the age that we were when we experienced things for the first time, the memories associated with it, all of it is just this weird thing. And I spent a lot of time in my life being a total screw up and like no self-confidence, always making bad decisions. I mean, we've all gone through those stages in life. And as much as I love this band, historically speaking, it also has a soundtrack to some of the saddest, most tumultuous, I can't say that word, whatever that word is, like the hard times in life, those times that you go through. And it's almost like, I think part of that is why I don't listen to it as much lately, is it's associated with a time in my life where I was going through a lot of things and it got me through those times. But now listening to it pulls me back to a place that I would rather not think about anymore. We talk about mental health on this channel. I've shared a lot about who I am, my past and everything like that. But when I was listening to Tool all the time, I was with my family, which I've recently been diagnosed officially with PTSD from my childhood. So I think a lot about my father and the things I went through with him, the fear, the pain, the just constant state of fight or flight, because it's like he was like living with an unpredictable wild animal. So when I hear this music, it kind of brings me back to that place, and I remember fondly of how Tool pulled me through that. Also, the other bands I mentioned, like Tool, Nine Inch Nails, Primus, those were the top three bands when I was going through some of my hardest times. And I don't listen to any of those bands anymore, and I'm curious, maybe I'll even talk to my therapist about this on Thursday. Maybe one of the reasons I fell out of listening to them is because they have such a hard association with the part of my life that, for all intents and purposes, I wish I could forget. There are pieces of my memories and childhood that if I could erase them, I would, because it would make me a more stable, healthy individual. And these bands were the soundtrack to that time. So it's like this bittersweet dichotomy of like remembering something I loved, but also being brought back to a place that was super painful. I know that, like, I go to weird places when we do these reaction videos. Sometimes I think I'm just spitting random bullshit words out. Other times I get really like sappy and emotional. Other times I get really like introspective. You could definitely say that Tool always takes you on a journey in their song. And I'm going on a journey right now with you guys with this song. I'm just not sure I like where that journey's going. And not because of the song itself, just because of the memories associated with listening to this band. Just it's almost hard to do. I'm not going to lie. But we're going to finish out the track. I'll wind this segment of my nonsense back in. Back to the beginning. Okay, so final thoughts. Awesome. Talented, well done, fantastic song. I don't know that I can listen to Tool anymore. Like, as we're sitting down going through this, I almost feel like I should bring this to the attention of my therapist. Like, I don't think I can listen to this band anymore. Not because I dislike them, because they are very good and I do very much like them. There is just so much hard-coded memory to their style of music that, like, I feel sad right now. Not sad enough to start crying. I've done that on this channel before. You guys know I'm not no stranger to that. There's kind of like this weird empty feeling that I feel inside, kind of like my heart's been hollowed out a little. Because it was so long ago and so different from what I like where I am at now. The person I have become, the person I've created, I'm very proud of. But it's been a long, hard journey. And this pulls me back to a place I don't like. And that sucks. Like, just to put it bluntly, that sucks. Because I'd love to be able to sit down and listen to this with fresh ears, as if I hadn't gone through any of the things I'd gone through. But I picture a time in my life where I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel happy. I was hurt and scared and miserable and picked on and demoralized. And I hate that those are the associations with this sound, but those are the associations. It hurts to listen to a little bit, which is, like, I started out this video and I was like, I don't even know what to say. It's Tool. Of course it's good. It's Tool. And now at the end of the song, I'm like, I'm a little rattled in the sense of, like, I know the songs are meant to take you on an emotional journey. That's always been how Tool works, but I don't think it's a road I want to keep going down. And I have to think about the fact that I don't think I want to listen to Tool anymore, not because I don't think it's good music or that I don't enjoy listening to it. I just think, like, this might break me a little tonight. Like if I were to sit down and put this album on and be like, oh man, I listened to this song. I haven't listened to this band in a while. Let me check out everything I haven't listened to since I, kind of fell off of listening to them. I think I might be a emotional blubbering mess by the end of it. And like, not in the kind of like good transformative way of like getting into your emotion in this bad, like I walked back into my abuser's house type of way. And like, that's just so weird for me to think of. And, I feel comfortable sharing this stuff because that's what I do. I share all of my ups and downs. I've talked about it many times on my streams and in my videos about how I think it's important to be open and be a real person, especially as content creators. We all put our best foot forward when we're creating content, playing music, performing in any way, shape, or form, because this is a performative style of creation. But I always try to be as authentic and real and honest as I can, and I think that's important. So I'm always going to talk about the hard stuff, the good. Like I'll talk about the good stuff, the bad stuff, the ups, the downs, the sadnesses. I've been on a roller coaster my whole life, and Tool got me through a low point in that roller coaster. But listening to them now brings me back there, and I don't like that. And that's like this weird thing. I'm going to make a note after this to discuss this with my therapist this week because I think she'd be interested to hear that. So very cool to get to do that, to ride that experience and realize that about myself, but also kind of sucks because a band that I really loved is more of a trigger now than something I enjoy. Anyway, long video, long-winded nonsense. Well, not nonsense, but words and stuff and things and cake. We have a cake emote that we made for my Twitch channel, and it's up on my screen because I was working on my Twitch stuff earlier. If you guys want to come hang out there and watch me play video games, talk about mental health and chronic illness, all those links will be down in the description. I don't think I've done the obligatory like and subscribe, so if you guys have made it this far, you might as well. I'm going to keep putting out music reaction videos. We also put out gaming content quite a bit. That has and will be the main focus of the channel, but I do love doing the music reaction videos. I've got a bunch of stuff planned to come out. I don't have enough time today to really start my next deep dive, so I'm probably going to do 1 or 2 more videos that were recommended in the comments or on the Discord. Come hang out with me. Chill. Enjoy music and life and stuff. I don't know how to end this video, so bye everyone. Take care. Be well.